המשותף למוזיקה של הסרטים העוקץ, כך היינו אנשים פשוטים, או למוזיקה של המחזמר קורוסליין, שורת המקהלה, הוא אשר גם זכה ב3 אוסקרים ועוד פרסים רבים על כל הנעימות שהוא כתב, הוא האורח הבא שלנו. זהו המלחין מרווין המליש. בבקשה. Thank you for coming to our studio. Is it your first time in Tel Aviv?
Well, this is my first time actually in Israel. You know, this is the first time I've come here to this wonderful country. Actually, but I've been, well, actually, it's my 4th time in Tel Aviv.
4th time in Tel Aviv?
Yeah.
And in Jerusalem?
And I've been in Jerusalem now, well, I've been here, you know, all told 72 hours. I've been to Jerusalem 5 times.
Yes.
I've been to Tel Aviv 4 times.
Yeah.
I'm in Israel once. This, by the way, is being sent out in black and white, right? Is that correct? Right. Because this is the first time that I will see myself in black and white. Really, it's going to be nice. And I'd like you, maybe if you would put on, say something like, you know, brought to you in 1947 or something like that. Because in America, we still have color. You know, this will be the first, you know, kind of thing.
You look very good.
Do I look in black and white? Oh, good.
In black and white, I mean.
Well, I've been here, all told 72 hours. I left on an El Al flight. Had to leave El Al. I had to do that. I left on an El Al flight. And I left America at, let me see, it was 6 o'clock in the evening we left from New York. You heard of New York, right?
Yes.
A lot of Jews in New York. You gotta know. And we left at 6 o'clock, and El Al is very security-minded, very security-minded. We left at 6 o'clock, but we had to get to the airport a day before. They're very tough. Yeah. So we did that, and I was on the plane, right? And the reason I've been back and forth so much in the country is because I've been doing a lot of interviews. You know, I do television. Well, this is the television. Of course, I did radio, a lot of radio. Yeah. And you constantly go from Tel Aviv back to Jerusalem, back to Tel Aviv.
You would like to take a nap now?
Oh, I need one.
So while I'm reading the next version in English, you may sleep for a while.
Okay. So
now, can you play us something on the piano? Something that we all know.
You want something that you all know?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I didn't know it.
I love that. You know, this is an amazing thing. It's wonderful about the Israeli audiences, I have to tell you something. Because they start clapping like that, and then they go boom, 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 boom. I mean, it's amazing. You know, I turned around, I thought there was an army coming at me. I went like this. I give up. You know, in this country, I'm always quick. You know, hey.
No, just because the ovations were because they were so proud they didn't know you wrote it.
No, I didn't write that. You asked me, you wanted me to play something you know.
Yes, of course. If I have Hamlisch on the show, I want him to play something of his own.
I'll play something that I'm identified with, okay?
Okay, please. Thank you very much.
I'm telling you.
It was from The Sting. The Sting was the first film you made with Robert Redford. I mean, the music for the film, right?
Yeah, well, I tell you the truth, I have worked with Robert Redford for three films, right? And
my wife says that you are very lucky to work with Robert Redford, right?
That's what your wife said.
Yeah.
I think, first of all, I think it shows something that's wonderful, that two sex symbols can work together.
Oh, my wife and...
No, me.
No. You're thinking about me and my wife.
Because it's interesting, I wrote the music for The Way We Were, right? And I adapted this music. This is Scott Joplin. This is from The Sting. And in both pictures, you know, Robert Redford was in both pictures. And I think it's amazing what my music has done for his career. He's just, you know, I am not, by the way, jealous. You might think, the people might think I'm a little jealous of Robert Redford. But I'm not jealous, because I know at this very moment he's probably at home, looking in a mirror, saying, if only I could play the piano like Marvin Hamlisch. I had one problem with Robert Redford, though. Yes. Has the picture of Ordinary People come here yet?
Yes, it was.
It was here? Good. And what happened was, in that picture, it starts out and you see a choir, you know, and I had to teach the choir the music, you know, and what to sing for that choir. And we did that in Chicago, Illinois, right? And so I was there, and it was a lot of girls in the choir. I always prefer that, you know. Yeah. But there was a couple of boys and everything, because you know, you need those basses, but mostly girls. And I was standing there, and I was teaching, you know how you do? I give it a little schmaltz. And I was giving it, you know, this kind of thing. And I noticed that I really had these people listening to me, because let me tell you, I've won a few awards, this and that. I come to Chicago. They were very pleased to meet me and everything like that. And so they were treating me very well. And all of a sudden I noticed, at a certain moment, after about working an hour and a half, I noticed that all the faces went like that. I mean, everybody just, I was, you know, looking right at them and all that. And I turned around to see what happened, and I saw that Robert Redford had walked into the room. And I started to think, you know, to myself, what does he have that I don't have? You know, I started thinking. Yeah. So I looked at him, I looked at myself, you know what I mean? Because he wasn't conducting. You know? So I thought to myself, you know, so like, I remember exactly, he had a plaid jacket on. Yeah. And I had a plaid jacket on. He had on, I think it was a blue sweater, and I had a red sweater. And that's when it dawned on me that obviously that choir really liked blue sweaters. It was very obvious to me.
It's fact.
Yeah.
And have you met any Israeli girl by now?
Well, I tell you something, you know, I try never to discuss my personal life, but to be honest with you, because of the fact that it's Israel and, you know, you have to be very honest here and everything like that, I met a girl. It's amazing because, you know, you're always looking for that perfect Jewish girl, right? Basically to please your parents. But you're always looking for that perfect, and I met her when you know, because I've only been here, I told you, 72 hours.
You probably met her on the way from Jerusalem to Tel Aviv.
Going back and forth, you know what I mean? And I've been watching a lot of Israeli television. I've been watching as much as I can, you know what I mean? Because you like to watch the shows and get a feeling and stuff. And I've been watching, you know, this station and everything, and watching the shows. And I met this fabulous girl. And the combination of watching television, meeting this girl, and the beautiful, you know, the beautiful nights in Jerusalem and everything like that, I wrote a song that I was inspired. And I would like to, it's the only time I'm ever going to do this, I'd like to do it in Israel.
An Israeli hit by Marvin Hamlisch.
Well, I don't know if it's a hit, but I'd like to do it because, you know, tomorrow I go back to New York and stuff. I'd like to at least try the song in the native land. Okay, is that all right?
Yes, of course. Yeah, please do hear it.
I just wrote it so it's a little bit crinkled. You don't mind, do you?
No.
And it's, by the way, it's a love song, so if possible, I like to take this seriously. This is not to be a joke, because the girl happens, I know she'll be watching, you know, this show is taped, and I'll be leaving and everything. She has to stay here because she still has to work out a couple of things, you know what I mean? But, so if we could have some beautiful lighting and stuff like that, I'd really...
So, add some more black, please, to the white.
Perfect. I met the girl of my dreams in Israel last night. So we went out and everything was going just right. I whispered, I love you. You drive me out of my head. I waited for her to answer, and this is what she said. Shalem et ha'agra bazman. Shalem et ha'agra Basman. I couldn't believe it. She told me to pay her dues. Well, that's what you hear in Israel when you put together two Jews. So I hope when she hears that tomorrow, she'll know, by the way.
Now she sings now, they are playing our song.
So then we're in trouble, right?
You were considered as a wunderkind, right?
Also, I was also considered male and everything. Right?
But I mean, the wonder was, the
Yes,
wonder was
right.
that at the age of 7 you were in Juilliard already,
Yes, right,
which is one of the best music schools.
Right.
And yet you are not in classic music today. Why? Classical music.
There's an interesting story. I want to tell you what happened to me. You know, I was being groomed as a classical pianist. That's why I went to Juilliard and stuff like that. And it's a very nerve-wracking profession if you're going to go into that kind of, you know, playing. And my father particularly wanted me to be this great concert pianist, you know, so I was really learning. So what happened to me was around the age of around 11 years old, they put me into a contest of all New York kids. And the idea was to see who was the best at 11 years old, right? And the one thing I didn't want to have happen was to win. I didn't want to win because, you see, instead of the prize being $500, which we could all use at the age of 11, or a night on the town, or a television set, something, the prize was that if you win, you have to play at town hall. You have to actually do a concert. And I was very nervous to do concerts, you know? So what happens is, unfortunately, I won the contest. And 3 weeks later, I'm supposed to play the thing, right? And I was going to play the G minor Kabalevsky Sonatina, which is... I still remember. So what happened is, my mother wanted to buy me a beautiful suit. She wanted to have a new suit, right? It's important, right? New suit. She believed in ties also. I can see whose mother we had. So what happened was, she went to a place and she bought me a beautiful suit, but I'm very kind of, you know, I move around a lot. She didn't actually put the pants on me, but she kind of knew my size and everything, and she just went, you know how you can go into a store and just check out the pants and see, okay, and she's fine. Day of the concert comes, right? I was getting very nervous. She puts on the jacket, looks great. Puts on the pants, and I go, this is no good. This is not, it was wool. Oh. I said, it scratches. It's scratching me. I can't take this. I can't take it. So she got very nervous because in about an hour and a half I had to play the... She said, look, I can't sew in a lining because it's too late. She says, I'll tell you what you do. Wear your pajamas. Wear your pajamas underneath the thing. So I had this beautiful, beautiful pajamas, and I put them underneath, you know, the pants. And now I go to town hall, and I'm pacing up and down, and finally they say, and now here he is, Marvin Hamlisch. I come out, and there's big applause and everything like that, and then there's laughter. I hear people, they start laughing over here. They start laughing in the middle here. They start laughing over here. And you know how you always, at a piano, you learn to make it look difficult. You know, you sit there and you go... And I looked down, and I saw my orange pajamas dangling from the thing here. So I'm one of the few people who can honestly say that I played the Kabalevsky Sonatina in their pajamas at town hall. And that's when I knew I wasn't going to go into that, you know?
Never to a classical music.
No.
Since Barbara Streisand, she hasn't come here tonight.
No.
So you must do it again.
She wanted to come, but I heard that your talent coordinators are so difficult to get on this show. She called me, she begged me, she said, please, I want to go on the show. I said, Barbara, they only want me. I said, I begged them. I begged them.
And
Right? Am I right?
I give you my word.
You know, you said to me, no, she has to audition like everybody else.
As you did.
I auditioned, I did. I came over, I brought the girls, everything was terrific. You know? You said, no,
Mr. Hamlisch.
Liza Minnelli, she says to me, please. I said, Liza, the man does not, he has an opening number with girls.
No,
I said,
we can't take her. We are scheduled for 2 years.
I said, that's it, he cannot do it. Give me a break. Boom. I know what you want.
When you are back in the States, tell Liza Minnelli perhaps on 84 or something
1984,
like that.
1985, we
are
can push her
scheduled for 3 years
with
on,
opening
you know.
numbers like that, you can't get people like that,
No,
let's face it.
Now you're here.
Yes.
So I give you my words.
Okay.
I won't tell Barbara Streisand
Don't tell her that I did
that
this.
you did. Okay, please.
Okay.
The way we were.
Okay. memories may be beautiful, and yet what's too painful to remember, we simply choose to forget. So it's the laughter we will remember whenever we remember the way we were, the way we were.
I must tell you, I was sitting the whole interview here on purpose, to sit here and to check that it was you, Marvin Hamlisch himself, playing his songs. It was a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you.